Okay. So, if you can see me on YouTube, uh, I think I'm live on YouTube now. Yes, it's a great privilege to host one more session, uh, and this is my personal favorite. Okay. And this is great privilege to speak to you regarding different aspects of life and in between come across different challenges. Now, one of the most important factors is about reinvesting in yourself and how to find time in reinvesting yourself. Before starting my presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all those people who have influenced my life. Over a period of time, they have been so with me, encouraging me in different aspects of life. Now, these things I wanted to draw and convey to you in a presentation, and this would be continuing for more than 5 to 6 sessions of regular webinars. As you can see on the screen, dreaming is easy, achieving is hard, moving is tough, but being stagnant is just foolishness. Now, this is very important to understand that people people dream big, and some fail to do it, and some go on to achieve it. Now, dreaming is very easy. Anybody can dream, but achieving is hard. Now, fulfilling your dreams is very tough. Similarly, moving is tough, but being stagnant is just foolishness. So you have to push yourself through daily goals. However small it would be, however big it would be, you have to push yourself. Do not be stagnant. It means that do not be stuck in any place. Do not be just stuck or thinking what to do next. Now, going forward, this is what you are imagining your position. The approach, the skills, the opportunities, the expertise, and the position. Again, the approach, skills, opportunities, expertise, and position. This revolves around like a circle, like a ball. It goes around and round and round and round. And at some point of time, it redefines you. So this means that there is a point where you achieve your goals, your targets. But that point has to be really defined well. And for that, the circle is very important, which you see on the screen. The approach, how do you approach things? The skills which you learn over a period of time, the opportunities you get and opportunities you take and the opportunities you leave. So these all matters. The expertise you gain over a period of time doing a set of works or a lot of works, and the position which you are in right now or in the future or in the past. So these are all factors which should be molding you over a period of time to redefine yourself and redefine who you are actually. So consider this as a football, or we can say a circle, which revolves around, around, around. It's like a circle. It revolves around, around. And faster you achieve all these things, the more better you are. But speaking of faster, it is very important to understand that fast is, or we can say, being fast should not be a limitation to you. You should focus on the quality of work. So anybody can do anything very fast. But the problem is the output matters. So the quality of work matters. Now, going to the next screen, this is my presentation for today. I'm not going to cover the whole topic. I just want to take 10 to 15 minutes of yours, those who are seeing me for the first time on screen. Today I'm going to discuss about change management. Now, this is a very big term. Before going into that term, I would like to draw your attention to four poles, that is, the North Pole, the South Pole, the East, and the West. In the North Pole, you see change management, and the South Pole, you see long term goals. In the East and the West, you see SWOT and your passion scale. Now, all the four factors are very, very important. And this is so important that it really affects your approach. Now, talking about change management, there are four factors which actually are interconnected with each other. And this actually changes your attitude towards things. What is change? Now, change is something which you can resist. And there are some changes which you can't resist. Now, what are the changes you can't resist is actually not going to matter much over a period of time because it has to happen. Those things has to happen and you cannot do anything about it. But there are some changes which you can resist. But just think if the resistance is positive or negative. Because some things happen in your life which can change you to a new person or a better version of you. And some things happen in your life which can change you to a very negative person than what you are right now. So these four important factors should really be taken into consideration when you're going to resist or when you're going to discuss about anything related to change management. Number one is growth. You have to identify whether there is any growth factor in the change which is going to happen. So it means that if there is a change, a potential change going to happen within your organization or within your working environment, you have to identify whether that change is going to relate into a growth factor. Now, if there is a growth factor in it, so this is very good. You have to adapt to the change. And if there is no growth factor in that, then you have to resist the change. At the same time, enable some factors within you or enable some qualities within you which can communicate to the person who is or the institution or the set of people who are going to change the system that this is not good for the system. And you have to resist, oppose, and enable successful or we can say positive criticism to all those changes. So there is a growth factor. Now, what are the fears? Now, fears are always related to negativity, okay? So when you're talking about fears, if the change is negative, then there is a fear of loss. So if they, for example, if they are going to bring in some new set of standards to your organization, and those standards are really going to automize things, okay, and will take some of your positions or redundant some of your positions, this is going to become a great change or become a great fear in you. Now, when you're talking about fear, there is always a scope of improvement and also there is a scope of going down or just falling away. So that is another aspect to be discussed, to be taken into consideration before considering the change management. Resistance. Resistance is all about resisting or opposing the changes. Now, I discussed with you before that there are positive resistance and there is negative resistance. Positive resistance is you show resistance over a period of time for some actions, but at the end you realize that this is going to bring an impact, a positive impact to the organization or to the working flow. And then you suddenly or slowly adapt to the situation. So you're resisting, but the resistance doesn't always be over you, it remains in you. Still, you oppose things which are negative in nature, but you adapt to the good things which can help the organization. So there are two sides of a coin there. And productivity. Now, when there is a change, the productivity is affected. Or even though there are factors like growth, fears, and resistance in the change management, but still, productivity is considered to be the most important factor which is going to affect you. Now, what is productivity? You all know what is productivity. But in change management, productivity is going to affect you or no? This is a big question. Now, the question has to be answered in such an environment where you have to know that your productivity matters, and your productivity does matter when there is changes going to happen in an organization. So, combining these four aspects, you become a new version of you and also become a modified version of you. So, a new you is going to happen and a modified version of you is going to happen. So, these two are combined together. So, to sum up, striving towards growth is equal to building confidence plus learning new things minus ego. So which means that if you're striving towards growth factor, then the building confidence part plus the learning new things and deduct the ego from you will adapt or will make you adapt to the positive change management. Overcoming fears can be negotiated by taking the risks plus planning plus self-analysis. So this is the way you can overcome fear. You take the risks because I prefer to take the risk. Even though you fail, even though there is no light at the end of the tunnel, but you take the risk of walking the tunnel because you don't have any other options. The organization has suddenly told you that these positions are going to be redundant and these processes are going to be automated. So at the end of the day, if these processes are going to be automated, then you have to adapt to the situation. So you are taking the risks, which means there are no options left. So when you're taking the risk, you plan it properly and you analyze yourself that whether I'm suitable for this risk or whether I am really up to this risk. Combine these together and you go and do the action. This is the way you can overcome your fears. This is the only way I think you can overcome your fears. So this is all about change management. So going forward, what is growth? Now, growth has been divided, as I discussed before, confidence, learning, actions, and ego. Now, what is confidence? Working hard to get the results, demonstrating the power to transform and delivering results. Confidence is all about working hard to get the results. So, which means when you're working out to get the results, even though it is positive or negative, some confidence is there to push you to actually deliver the output. And there is a power to transform. And this is how you are going to do the process. And there is a result. The result can be negative, the result can be positive. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the confidence which is within you to take the first step or to inbuild or to adapt to the growth factor. Now, learning is very important because these days people don't spend time to learn because they think that it is a wastage of time to go into the depth or do the research, but they actually see the upper portion of, or we can say the upper portion or the over the sea uh, output, or we can say over the sea availability, just apply some shortcuts in their life to achieve those things. So this is another important factor. Do not copy, be your own. So people normally people normally have a tendency to take the shortcuts in life. So when they're going to take the shortcuts in life, they act, or we can say they copy many others. I want to become a successful influencer. So what do? I just go and check out a YouTube channel of an influencer and then copy it. Copy his style, copy his wordings, copy his actions, copy his voice. Some people copy their voices. So stuff like that. But it is on the longer run a wastage of time. It is just a wastage of time and it gives you negative results. So if you are your own, even though you have limitations to speak, even though you have limitations to write, but if you are going to do it in an original way, it matters. So researching always before speaking is very important. Publishing your works again is very important. So those considers or that is all about learning part. Now, what is the action? Positive output, beneficial to others, to take reference, standards and procedures, well organized. So if there is a positive action, there will be a positive output. Always process is very important. Always understand that these processes are beneficial to others. Okay, so if you are giving or delivering lectures, or if you can say publishing notes, always understand that these are very important to others to refer in their life and help them to grow in their life. So it is very important to publish those. Follow a standards and procedures. Follow a set of SOPs in your life, in your corporate standards. Okay, there would be some processes within your organization. So just follow it and be well organized. So that will increase your output. And the deduction part, ego. So why I tell you to deduct all your ego? Because ego is all about self-interest. I and I doesn't make anything we. You know, I and I is not we. We and we is we. I mean here WE. So I and I will always be equal to I. And I would not be able to do this alone unless and until I build a team to support me. So ego should be out of you. So there should be a team. So self-interest should be out of you. You should be able to deliver to others. You should be able to help others. Thinking about others is very important because you may lose now, you may win now, but others matter. So that's all about leadership quality. It's not about me, it's about others. Put yourself into other situation. If they are suffering from anything, just think about them. Just think about what they're going through and think that you are in a position like them. And the integrity part. It's very important to never ever give up your integrity. So ego is all about self-interest. Okay, so deduct the ego from your life. Confidence plus learning plus actions will give you growth. Always be confident in your work, always be ready to learn, and always deliver positive actions. And deduct the ego from your life. This will give you the growth factor. Overcoming fears. Now, this is very important to understand, but I would stop here because I would like to spend just 20 minutes with you each day discussing on these various issues. So we learned about change management, the four factors of change management: growth, fears, resistance, and productivity. We learned about growth, the four factors of growth, and then we have to see what is the ways of overcoming fears, and then we go about the resistance to change, and then how to create a positive resistance, and then it goes on and goes on. Okay, there are lots of chapters to be discussed. So I would thank all those who are listening right now, all those who are seeing me live right now. Thanks for coming online. Thanks a lot. I would like to stop here. Have a great day. It's good night to all the people in the UAE. And thanks a lot for listening to me. Thank you.